a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Business with a servant's heart. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk on life. Our guest will share his life story. We want you to success in life. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk on life. We're gonna talk on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are gonna witness. Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Business with a servant's heart. Listen to the podcast.
That doesn't cost money, right? So employees don't want another pizza party. They just want to feel valued and seen and respected. And if we can get that through to business owners and recognize the power that that has, oh my goodness, the results follow.
Wow, you hit a nail. I mean, 70% are not growing your company, basically, is what you're saying.
That's it.
It's in financially, culturally, multiple ways. That's huge. Because we flipped that. Well, and no wonder why a lot of businesses closed during COVID and after, because that 70%. We're like, I'm just out of here because of the things you do.
I want to invite you into the Business Network, my free school community for entrepreneurs and business owners who want to grow their network and scale their business. Inside, you'll get step-by-step lessons, monthly workshops, feedback, scripts, resources, bonuses, and a community of like-minded people who believe in helping each other win. Join us today at school.com/thebusinessnetwork or click the link in the description and click Join Group. I'll see you inside.
Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona, and I'm so fired up for you to come on today and watch or listen to this podcast. Quick shout out to all of you. We just hit 1,100,000 views and over 1,100 episodes. I'm not saying that because I'm patting myself on the back. I'm saying it to my guests who are listening and to my guests today. You are impacting people every day with every show, and I couldn't have done it without you, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And let's start with our gratitude. It's a simple one today. You are wonderful. Look in the mirror and say that. I know people talk about manifestation and I forget the other word, but say that. Just wake up. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm wonderful. Because you are. Whatever that looks like. Wonderful could be you just gave a little boy $1 or made $100 million. Doesn't matter. Just be wonderful. With that being said, I am fired up for this guest. I got to spend 10 minutes with him. He's going to blow you out of the water with what he's doing. So, Scott, welcome to the great show here.
I am so excited to be here. Thanks for having me, Steve.
What's the biggest impact you've made to date?
I think just launching the movement that we have launched, it's called the Priceless Leadership Movement. And we're really trying to help rehumanize workplaces right now in the day and age of AI. And I'll tell you, we're kind of early on in the stages, but a couple of weeks back, I had an opportunity to go up to Washington, D.C. And talk to the Senior Executive Association, which are like highest level leaders in our government that are career leaders, and was really excited because they recognize that they need to start to lead differently. And as I was up there and given my spiel, I was introduced by the chief counsel of the Department of Energy. And at the end, he came back to thank me and to kind of do a little summary. And what he said was so impactful and really inspired me. He said, you brought us all to church, Scott. And I thought, okay, well, that's a good sign. He said, but during your speech, he said, for the first time ever, he said, I texted all of my deputies to let them know how much I appreciate them. And I said, that's what it's all about. And that meant so much to me. And I think, if nothing else, I left Washington feeling really, really optimistic and hopeful for, the future of our nation, really, because I think it gets a lot of bad press, but that's the mission that we're on.
Well, and if you can convert a politician into doing that, that's a big award too. Yeah. I'm just not going to be political, but that's very cool that he did that. Yeah. Well, let's talk about, you call this a movement, and it really is. What's the goal and inspiration for it?
So the inspiration is I've been in leadership my entire career, and I've seen the impact that leaders can have on people, and then and the impact on results. And so we're really trying to help organizations maximize and optimize the results that they get, but recognizing that those results come from people. And when we take care of our people, they give more of themselves. And servant leadership has just always been a passion of mine. And I had an opportunity to work for a brief time for a nonprofit organization that was led completely by servant leaders. And it was the first time in my 30-year career that I had an opportunity to have that experience. And God led me there for a very specific reason. I was only there 9 months, unfortunately, because of a layoff that happened, because of some funding cuts that was outside of their control. But I really believe that was my launching pad that God brought me there for, because I got to experience a culture that was completely built around servant leadership, and I got to see the results that came from it. I mean, results like annual turnover that was like 6%. I came from an industry that if you got to 70 or 80% annual turnover, you were celebrated. And revenue per employee beat that of Meta and Google. And this was a Christian-based organization. And so that was the inspiration for me to go and say, you know what, we can teach this to anybody. You don't have to be a Christian-based organization, because the structure was the same. They had IT, finance, HR, everything was the exact same. The only difference was the way that they saw people, the way they treated people, and the culture that they created. And so that was our inspiration for the book, for our workshop, and the academy. And now I've got a beautiful faculty around the country that are really passionate about this. And we're just trying to help organizations recognize the impact that they can have on people.
People, purpose, possibilities.
Yeah.
You said people multiple times. It's on his left shoulder, or if you're watching, probably right shoulder. There it is. Powerful 3 Ps.
Yeah.
But people, when I talk to them, business owners, entrepreneurs, yeah, I understand it. It sounds great, but how do I make an impact and keep my business going? Because I got to make some kind of money to keep that business going.
And we get that, right? Results are so important. But it's recognizing that you cannot force your employees to be engaged. And the best results come when your employees are engaged, right? Right now, Gallup just came out with their most recent data that shows that as a nation, engagement is at 31%, meaning 31% of our workforce is highly engaged in their jobs, meaning they're coming in every day and they're giving their all. About 50% of the workforce right now, they're coming into work, they're doing their job, but they're not giving any extra effort. They're not giving you that extra discretionary effort that is so, so valuable to business owners and to leaders and to organizations. That's the effort that really helps you drive additional revenues and help you save costs. And then you've got about 20% of your workforce that is actively disengaged. And that portion of your workforce is doing you damage. So it makes sense that if you can improve your level of engagement, the results follow. And that's not something you can force. You can't make a policy about it. You have to earn that. And the only way to earn that is by really, truly taking the time to get to know your people, to treat them with respect and dignity and care, provide the support that they need so that they can feel seen and valued. And I'm telling you, they spend, the other statistic from Gallup that they just put out was, as a nation, we spend $200 billion a year trying to fix that engagement number. And it doesn't move because we try to solve it with these fancy programs and training and platforms. And people don't respond to programs. They respond to the environment that they come into every day. And so much of that is influenced by leadership behaviors and how my leader treats me. And those are the little things, like how do you treat me in a meeting? Or when I come to you and I ask to leave a little bit early because it's my kid's, recital, how do you respond to that? That's what culture is. It's not what you say it is. It really is what my lived experience is every day. And that doesn't cost money, right? So employees don't want another pizza party. They just want to feel valued and seen and respected. And if we can get that through to business owners and recognize the power that has, oh my goodness, the results follow.
Wow, you hit a nail. I mean, 70% are not growing your company, basically, is what you're saying.
That's it.
It's in financially, culturally, multiple ways. That's huge. Because we flipped that. Well, and no wonder why a lot of businesses closed during COVID and after, because that's 70%. We're like, I'm just out of here because of the things you do. When it comes to this culture, you know, people go, I love this. What do I do that with a person that doesn't fit the culture? I've got to move them on to another, either different position or away from the company. How do you think they should handle that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing I think servant leadership gets a bad rap sometimes about is that, oh, it's soft and you avoid these hard conversations. And it really is the opposite, because servant leadership is always about doing the right thing for everybody, for the people, for the organization. And part of that is having hard conversations, but it's doing so with love and dignity and with care. And I would also caution you that sometimes we jump we assume that maybe it's not a good fit, or we assume, oh well, that person's just lazy, or that person is disengaged. I would pause and say, let's examine the environment, or let's get to know what's going on, because oftentimes employees just give up at a certain point because of the environment or because of the way they're treated. And so what we encourage leaders to do is, first, um, recognize that every time that you see a person, and this is just in life, we put a label on that person. And that label could be at work, oh, here's my top performer. Oh, good, that person's coming in to see me. It could be, oh, here's my problem child. The way we see people is the way that we treat them. That's the lens that we operate through. The way that we treat people is the way that we make them feel. And it's also over time, that's what people start to believe about themselves. So if I see you as my problem child and I treat you that way, I start to think that, well, maybe I'm a problem around here. And that impacts my performance. And again, at the end, that impacts the results. But if I can see you as a valued member of my team, a priceless human being, if I change that label to that, I treat you differently. And hopefully over time, I as an employee start to believe that about myself. And then that is a completely different environment. And I start to respond very, very differently.
I love that you added that. You've got to work with people. The successful leaders I've interviewed over those 1,100 episodes, all of them said, I spend majority of my time with the problem child. So let's use that title. That they're coming in late, they're not doing the work, and we don't know the shoes people are walking in.
No.
The guy told me a story. He was talking to the problem child, and his wife had just lost the baby. They miscarried 2 weeks before. He's not going to go in and tell everybody. Most employees don't. But when he sat down with them and learned, holy moly, then he took this servant leadership. You know, you need time off, gave him a few weeks off, recharge your batteries, I think he said, doesn't matter. But that is how you handle, one of the ways you can handle a problem, Jim.
And I'll tell you, Mr. Rogers, one of my favorites growing up, said this quote that's really stuck with me my whole life. And he said, you know what, quite frankly, once you get to know someone's story, it's hard not to love them. And so one of the things that we teach is, yes, you need to see everybody, put the label of priceless on everybody, and recognize that everybody has that inherent value. And if we can see people based on that and treat people based on that, that's the first step. But the second step is also recognizing that everybody is so uniquely different. And you got to get to know people based on their uniqueness and those unique strengths and their stories and their struggles and their goals and aspirations. Because I think one of the leadership mistakes we make is that, oh, okay, I've got 5 engineers over here. I'm going to lead them differently than my 5 administrators. People operate very differently. And so if you want to be effective, you got to get to know your people, because the way they communicate, the way they like to be recognized are very, very different. And so that's kind of the second part, is get to know your people. And then, yes, eventually you may recognize that someone's not on the right seat on the bus. You can help them find the right seat on the bus. And that's very rewarding too as a leader, because I've done that so many times in my career. I had a custodian. I used to run resorts. I had a custodian. He was a terrible custodian. I would come in the morning and there was trash overflowing. Like, that's one of your only jobs, right? But he was so personable and he was so friendly, and he was very, social. And so I moved him eventually into an activities role, and he became one of our top performers. But again, you got to get to know your people. That's such a key part of this.
That is so huge. What you just talked about is a lot of the times the successful guys have told me, what you just did is what solves that problem. It's not that they're bad people. It's a bad situation. They're not happy and they need to work. And most people aren't going to tell you, hey, Scott, I hate being a janitor. They're not going to take because they're
my
afraid to lose
thing.
their job, right?
Yeah.
Especially with the culture as it is today. That's beautiful. I love that. That's so cool. I mean, I talked to a guy. He took his top sales guy, made him a sales manager. He flopped.
Yeah.
And he sat down with him in same type of scenario and said, hey, I don't like this job. He laughed flat out, told him, I don't like it. I'm great with moved him back. The guy went back. He did even better because he rewarded him for what he wanted. That's what a servant leader, I think, is. So let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Servant leadership. What's your definition of that?
So first, it's looking in the mirror. I think that's the very first step, and looking at what is my role, right? Is my role to be served? Am I in charge? You work for me? And the answer is no. As a servant leader, my job is to serve those that have been entrusted into my care. And my job every day is to come in and ask the question, what can I do for you? What do you need from me? Right? Because my job is to remove barriers so that my team can succeed and they can get the work that they need to get done as effectively as they can. And part of that is making sure that they feel safe and that they feel valued and that they feel seen. That's part of it. But it's also making sure that they've got the tools to do their job and that they've been trained and that they've got, the schedule well in advance so that they can plan their life and all of those things. So it's really about serving those in your care and not the other way around. To me, that's what servant leadership is, a big piece of it.
It's awesome. I mean, I heard so many different versions. That's one of the better ones. You're a smart dude. I love this. So, National Academy of Leadership Development. Academy is a key word to me there because it's different than a community. Communities are awesome. I have my own. Why add academy? What's the goal with having this be an academy?
Yeah, we want to teach, right? We want to teach servant leadership for the modern day workplace and recognizing that today is very different as we kind of enter into this, what they're calling the fifth industrial revolution. Things are changing, right? So leaders are not going to be valued as much for their expertise and their knowledge, just to be frank. Not that it's not going to be important, but it's not going to be as important because AI is going to be able to answer questions a lot faster, and it's going to kind of replace a lot of that. So leaders need to learn how to connect and do a lot of the human things because this era that we're moving into, it's going to be how does technology help to serve humanity? And so employees need leaders that can help lead them through this change because it is a scary time. People aren't sure about their job security. And to your point earlier, people are carrying a lot of things with them into the workplace, a lot of stress.
Yeah.
The American Psychological Association did a survey a couple years ago that showed there's more stress right now in the workplace than ever before in the history of since they've been measuring it. And, that's kind of post-COVID and political divide. And we could go on and all the reasons, in addition to all the personal stress that people are carrying. And so they need leaders to be able to come in and provide support and empathy and flexibility and that connection. The last thing they need is for leaders to come in and be void of that and dump more stress on top of what they're already carrying. And so we're trying to teach leaders about that and to help. Ideally, what we love to do is go in and help organizations teach all leaders at all levels how to be a servant leader, starting with the executive level, because they play a huge part in this, right? As an executive team, they own programs and they own policy and they own, right? They really have to be the one that sets the direction. And so when we work with that level, right, we help them understand, you got to put people first. And if you're going to make a policy or you're going to think about programs, how is it going to impact your people? And then you got that middle level of leaders, and that's a tricky level because that director, VP level, they're kind of managing up and down. And so we kind of work with that group and help them understand, what is their responsibility. And then that frontline leader level is so critical because they're the ones that are managing that day-to-day experience that employees are living. And that's where culture lives. And so ideally, we'd love to go in and certify organizations to what we call become certifiably priceless. And that would be kind of that organization, similar to like a Chick-fil-A or organizations that are really committed to creating these people first organizations. And that's why we put the academy together, and we've got faculty around the country that are just passionate about this.
I love that you mentioned Chick-fil-A, Costco, Trader Joe's, where my wife works. They do so many great, holidays they close. I think Costco was closed on 4th of July, which is amazing. I mean, that didn't happen 10 years ago. I'm 65. Did not happen. Everybody was open or everybody was closed, and they're giving back to their employees. I had a train of thought. I lost. I'm so far. Well, let's do this. I'm fired up. Now, audience, you can now tell he's an expert in servant leadership. He's lived it. He's teaching it. So I'm going to give you guys a gift to be a better servant leader. I am the first 10 people that reach out to Scott or me, and we'll get Scott's contact info. I'm going to send you his book for free so you can learn to be priceless and grow and share that. And I'm hoping that when you get the book, you read it, you share it with somebody else too, so you can impact others as Scott is and I am impacting people too. It's just what we need to be doing more of. Tell us about this book that I'm giving out.
Yeah, we'll see. You know what? And I'm gonna double that. Let me throw in 10 additional books because again, to me, it is all about the movement, and we want to spread this message far and wide. So the book is what I call the seed packet to the movement, and it really is broken up into. You'll see, it's like a workbook. It really is designed for people to learn about what it means to be a servant leader. And it's very practical. At the end of every chapter, there's discussion questions and there's an assessment so you can identify what kind of servant leader you are, because I think there is a misunderstanding that to be a servant leader, you've got to lead with your heart and be warm and fuzzy. And that's not what it means, because you can still be a strategic leader or an action-oriented leader. And so we have an assessment that, we have 7 different archetypes that you could, be part of. And we've got great stories in there, and we've got research. So it really is a very diverse book. But we also recognize that not everybody likes to go to a full-day workshop, which is one of the services that we provide. If you go to the workshop, it's basically the book that comes to life in a day. But my wife, for example, is an introvert, and she hates going to workshops. And this is what I do for a living, so it's very funny, but she hates it. So we have a self-study guide that goes with the book. It's a 12-week study guide. You take a chapter a week. It's very digestible, and you can teach yourself if you want. We give that away for free. It's on our website today. We also recognize that there's small offices where it wouldn't make sense for us to come in and do a workshop for you for a day. So we have a book club version. It's 4 weeks, 30 minutes a week. You can get the book and get together and lead yourself through this experience. And again, we give that away for free as well. We really just want this to be available to anybody that wants it, and there be no barriers of entry, if you will, people that want it.
Very cool opportunities there. You are truly a servant's heart, because that's what we do. We give stuff away to make that impact. And your next workshop is when and where?
So we do have a public tour that we just launched. So my next stop will be in New York City on September 2nd. And all that information is on our website. But we also do private events, obviously, for clients. And you can find out that everything is on our website at nationalald.com. And they can just reach out and find out more information there and contact me right through the site.
And we'll pop that up in a minute here after we finish with the last question here, and where you can get the book if you're not the first 20 people to reach out to us. Let's end with a fun question to get to know you a little better. So I'm going to come out to where you live. Sounds like you're in New England, right?
No, actually, I'm down in Orlando. I grew up in New England.
Oh, you moved to Orlando? Okay.
But I moved to Orlando.
So we're coming to Orlando. I want you to pick your favorite restaurant. The one okay. We'll pick one. You probably have multiple. And I want you to invite 3 people who have made the huge impact in your life. Yeah. And the second part is, I'm a foodie. I love food. And I got to stop eating it. But when I go out to eat with you, you're going to order the food. So I want you to tell us what we're eating.
Okay. All right. So we are going to go to a steak house. I hope that's okay. And there's a couple here that are just, I don't know if I could, I'll pick a good one for you, but there's a couple really good ones here in Orlando. And so are they dead or alive?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay, so my dad has passed away, but my dad has been one of the greatest influences in my life. He was the first servant leader that I got to kind of observe. He was a principal of the middle school, the school that I went to growing up. So I would bring him back and have him as one of our guests. Uh, I would bring my best boss ever, and I've had a lot of bosses, and I actually write about her in my book. But Barbara Wilcox was a true servant leader, and so she's one that I would love for you to meet and get to know because she just epitomizes everything that we talk about and that servant leadership is all about. And then, if it's okay, I'd like to bring Jesus because he was my first and still is the ultimate role model when it comes to servant leadership, and he is so much of the inspiration and the motivation of our movement and what we're doing here today.
Let's do a shout out to your dad. What's your dad's name?
Arthur Latham Doggett, the fourth, or excuse me, he's the third. There's five of them. It's a crazy thing. And the only reason I give you the full name is ALD is I named our academy in honor of him. So the Academy of Leadership Development, ALD, is his initials.
It's beautiful. Shout out, Arthur. I know you're up in heaven. You're looking
Yep.
down, I'm sure, smiling because your son's doing some incredible things. Thank you for taking the time, motivating me. I know you've motivated the audience. I've got notes here like crazy. Thank God I got a big iPad I can put the notes on. I get so many great information. How can people connect with you? I know some people want to do that.
Yeah, no, we try to keep it very simple. So yeah, everything you can find out or contact us is through our website, nationalald.com. And we have a contact form there. We've got all the information on the book, the workshops, our faculty. You can read up on our 25 faculty members. We have their bios and you can learn about them. And so, yeah, I'd encourage everyone to go to our website and check us out.
Yeah, I'll have it in the show notes. You can have access to that. And the book, just go on Amazon, Priceless.
Amazon.
If you're not the top 20, if you don't want to get a free book. I'm going to tell you this. If you're going to buy the book, let us give you a free book you can give to somebody else. Or buy 2 books. It's not about selling books. It's about the impact the book makes. And that's what's the power of this is. So with that being said, share this out with people that you want to see make a difference, especially a business owner or entrepreneur that has a team that's going, God, my team is they're not developed enough. They're not doing as much as I think they can do. I think this 20-minute podcast would change their mind and make an impact and motivate them to do some really cool things for their business. So with that being said, me and Scott want to thank everybody for watching or listening to this podcast. And we'll see you all in the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.